Vale, continuamos y vamos a ver, porque creo que esta es la tercera atracción. Sí, lo es.
Hey, has anyone seen the princess puppet? We can't really start the story without her.
That sounds like Daddy.
Ah, she was right here.
Ah, métete el papel de la princesa, pero antes coge esto. Ah, un gorro de princesa, comprendo.
There she is. Once upon a time, there was a princess who lived in a castle with her father, the king. The king loved her very much because daddies loved their daughters. Unfortunately, the kingdom also had an ogre who was eating travelers because ogres do that. So the king did what kings do and promised that anyone who slew the ogre would get to marry his only daughter, the princess,
A mí déjame en paz.
and become king when he died. The king's lands were very far away, and the ogre was very large, so only one knight showed up. His name was Fred, and he fell immediately in love with the princess. Fred was a brave knight, and he marched off the next morning, singing a brave song as loudly as he could. After several days had passed, the princess got to wondering what had happened to her future husband. So she set off into the forest to look for him. The princess tracked Fred's footprints through a strange wilderness full of scary sounds and hidden...
¡Ay!
Unfortunately, she impaled herself on the back. Wait, that's not what happened.
Oh, voy a caer en todas las trampas. Perfecto. La siguiente trampa tengo que caer. Como sea. Es por ahí, pero no me fío. Abajo hay alguna trampa. Vuelven a ser bambús. Voy a decir lo mismo. Super
She
easy.
came to a wide river filled with snapping crocodiles. She couldn't even swim. So what do you think she did?
Que me va a comer el cocodrilo, pero encantadísimo. A ver qué... ¡No! Eso no vale.
Unfortunately, she fell in the water and drowned. Wait, that's not what happened. She came to a wide river filled with snapping crocodiles. She couldn't even swim. So what do you think she did?
No. ¿No tengo que esperar a que dice a todo o qué? A ver. Abre la boca ahora. Ahora. Me ha mordido, ¿no? No hay ninguna frase ingeniosa. Solo que te como un cocodrilo. Vaya mierda. Yo esperaba que sí.
She ran on top of their heads.
That's right. It was a magical forest where the plants seemed to know each other. She had to use magic mushrooms to get high or up.
A ver. Ok. No, pero... En realidad lo que tengo que hacer es que esta aparezca un poco después de que se... No, puedo hacer que se desaparezcan, porque no que aparezcan. ¿Cómo? Vale, yo puedo quedarme esto y ese, vale. Son de temporada de temporizador, pero... Básicamente es este árbol se sube. Ya sé, no llego. Ergo, obviamente no puedes subir. Y no puedo hacerle la B, que era lo que pensaba hacer. No tengo a B, de hecho. Joder. Esa rama la necesitas y antes de que esto te termine. ¡Eh! Si me mata así contra el árbol, también. Vale, pues mira. Que creo que directamente con esta no nos hace falta. La otra está para... Vale, la otra está para inquietar. O sea que... Vale, listo, pero necesito eso más tiempo. O sea que... no, es al revés. Vaya gilipollas que estoy hecho, pero bueno. Pero para servir que funciona. Correcto.
Unfortunately, she impaled herself on the bamboo. Wait, that's not what happened.
Nada, claro. Es que obviamente tienes que saltar mal al principio. Quédate aquí y esperar. Y por eso sí que están bien ordenadas. Pero
Unfortunately, she impaled herself on the bamboo. Wait, that's
es que
not
como
what
te
happened.
tira... Pensé que sí. Un poquito más. Quizás me he pasado con ese poquito más.
She learned to use some bendy tree branches to fling herself across a patch of deadly sharp bamboo. As the sun was setting, she came to the giant ogre's campsite. And there, the princess discovered that the ogre had captured Fred and hung him from a tree as a snack. The ogre did not appreciate visitors at all. Even Fred seemed a little embarrassed to see her.
El ogro no me ha matado. Que me mate ahora. No dice nada. ¿Por qué? Yo quiero que el ogro me diga... ¡Ah! ¡Lo has matado! O sea, el ogro le mató así. No. Venga, pincha ahí. Hay que subir a tu palo. Hola. Joder, no me ha dado tiempo. Pues no es tan fácil, ¿eh? Hay que escapar del ogro justo cuando te pincha. No. Creía que era eso. Entonces... Si te pasas, obviamente, no. Espérate, es que ataca como un inútil. Ah, no, vale, ahí sí que te ataca bien. Antes ataca como un idiota. No, ataca bien. Antes ataca mal. No. Tienes que conseguir saltar, si acaso, a la cabeza del gigante, entonces. Joder, que te tienes que quedar justo para que... Ah, vale, ahora sí que lo ha pinchado.
But the
¿Qué?
princess was a woman of action, and she was nimble, and the ogre was clumsy and easy to taunt.
What's a taunt?
That's when you make fun of someone. You should never make fun of people, but with ogres, sometimes you have to.
Ah. Vale, o sea que tienes que conseguir que fallen en el teste. Bueno. ¡Hola! Ataca como inútil. Es que antes no estaba ahí, o sea. Y ahora creo que ha contado la historia de que me lo paso. Tampoco. Me vale. A ver, tú, estúpido, estoy aquí. Pégale esto. Muy bien hecho. Joder, tu cabeza es una cabrona. Vale. Vale, tengo que hacer saltar y que se cargue el árbol, está clarísimo. La la la. Y ahora venga, pega así. Ah, ya. Me he matado a mi árbol. Va, me mata así, haciendo pose. A ver, tú, mata aquí bien. Ahí está. Y ahora pégame a... ¡Joder! ¡Qué lento que lo hace! Estoy yo manco también, pero bueno. No. Como no quiero saltar a donde quiero saltar, pues... Pégala. Pégame a la velocidad de tocino. Y ahora vámonos. Aquí el príncipe solo se ha llevado una hostia.
And so the princess tricked the ogre and rescued Fred. Fred didn't feel too good about it. He really loved the princess. Fortunately, the king told him about a giant spider that he could slay in order to win the princess's hand. So Fred marched off to the lair of the giant spider, singing a brave song, a little less loudly than before. After several days had passed, the princess got to wondering what had happened to her future husband. So she went off looking for him again.
Tú tienes que salvar 3 veces.
Into a dark and creepy cavern, full of strange dripping sounds, kind of like the basement at school. Her footsteps echoed and echoed until it sounded like someone was following her. Soon she came...
No.
Unfortunately, she impaled herself on the bamboo. Wait, that's not what happened. Soon she came to a vast pit filled with vicious, deadly spikes. It was much too big to jump over, but far off, she could hear moaning. She thought it might be Fred. So what do you think she did?
I know.
What?
She used an umbrella.
What?
Like that nanny in that movie.
This
Oh!
is the 80s, honey. Where would she get an umbrella?
I don't know, but that's what she used.
I don't think I have an umbrella.
Well, you better find one, because she used an umbrella.
Where am I supposed to get an umbrella?
Así, pa, directamente así, toma, en la caja. O sea que tengo que salir, ¿no? Sigo viva. Sí, así,
there we go.
perfecto.
So, the princess bravely threw herself into the air, slowing her fall using an umbrella. Just like that nanny in the movie. She floated down into the cave. Deeper and deeper into the cavern she floated.
En realidad somos Sherry Bobbins, como en los Simpsons.
Maybe it was only the wind.
Ah,
Unfortunately, she impaled...
lo he girado, lo juro.
Wait, that's not what happened.
¿No puedes cerrar el paracaídas a medio?
Unfortunately, she impaled herself on the bamboo. Wait, that's not what happened.
Vale. No lleva paraguas. Creía que lo abría. Pero no.
Deeper and deeper into the cavern she floated. She could
Girar un
hear
poco.
Fred moaning. But maybe it was only the wind.
Pero facilísimo, vamos. La araña. Lo tiene ahí envuelto, vale.
Unfortunately, she impaled herself on the bamboo.
Joder.
Wait, that's not what happened.
Si no me he dado la bajé con una sombrita. ¡Yu! Hagámoslo bien esta vez. ¿Se puede ir para abajo? No.
Into the cavern she floated. She thought she could hear Fred moaning. But maybe it was only the wind.
Ahí está, míralo. Ya, no te estampes con las cosas de arriba. Ya te araña. Va a
Finally,
pararte,
she
¿no?
landed softly, right in a spider's web.
Y...
Fortunately, it was a very
Saltando.
old web, and she was able to break free. Unfortunately, the web was the only thing holding up a giant boulder.
Joder,
The
te lo pueden
princess
decir
needed to find
antes.
somewhere to hide.
Porque no ha dicho que la bola me aplastó. Di que la bola me aplastó. Mierda. Eso no lo dice. ¿En serio? ¿Y qué pretenden que haga ahí? Tururú. Tururú. Y aquí... Me caigo a esto. Ah, vale. Ya lo he visto. Demasiado tarde. La. Ah, fue. Perfecto. Ala, camino construido.
Suddenly, a
Sí.
giant
Ah,
spider jumped out of
era...
the shadows and attacked her.
Con plataformas con tiempo.
She ran and jumped and climbed, but the giant spider was very good at climbing too. It had 8 legs and the princess only had 2.
Ah. Qué cabrón. Y tanto que esta corría bien, ¿sabes? Corre que se las pela, cabrón. Claro, aquí lo malo es que si le das uno de más, te saltas a donde no quieres, a lo mejor. Ya. No puedes saltar a esa. Y ahora...
Fortunately, the princess remembered how the webs were holding up boulders.
Perfecto. Ya me imagino que es el camino, ¿verdad? ¡Ué! Ah, vale, la puerta que no podíamos saltar.
Finally, she found Fred. He was all wrapped up like a present for the giant spider's girlfriend. He was dreadfully embarrassed about having to be rescued again. He really loved the princess. The princess decided he was cute. Fortunately, the king told him about a dragon that he could slay in order to win the princess's hand and stop being so embarrassed. So Fred marched off to the mountaintop of the dragon, singing a brave song, very quietly. After a few days, the princess got to wondering...
Why her dad kept trying to give her away?
That too. But she was worried about Fred, so she went off to find him. The dragon's mountain was cold, and the wind howled at her to turn back. There were rock slides and fiery chasms, but she was very brave and nimble, just like you. She wasn't going to be put off by a few deadly dangers. Up and up she climbed. When she got cold, she thought about the hot buttered muffins she would make when she got Fred home. Do you still like muffins?
I love muffins.
The princess hoped Fred liked muffins.
Bueno, esperaré. Me da tiempo sobra, pero... Vale, geyser de agua. Vamos a subirse aquí. ¡Bah! Eso ha sido falsísimo. Parece que tenía que haberme ido a la esquina, pero... El resultado de todo ha sido muy falso. ¿Otro geyser? ¡Ja! Buena idea haberse quedado ahí.
When the princess got to the lair of the dragon, she was not very surprised to see Fred hanging from the roof of the dragon's cave. So she taunted the dragon until it roared its fiery breath at her.
Vale. Tienes que conseguir que queme a Fred, ¿no? ¡Hala! Toma, te has llevado un poco de fuego fresco. Ah, no, tienes que subir, imagino. ¡Ve! Me ha tocado ligeramente. No, parece que tengas que subir. A la llama. Entonces, ¿qué mierda haces? Se ha hecho que queme a Fred. Quizás varias veces. Ah, sí. Ahí lo veo, ha soltado una.
Finally, burning away the ropes that were tying up Fred. And so the princess and Fred lived happily ever after. Fred never had to go on another adventure again, and they had hot buttered muffins every morning. There is another version of the story where the princess flew off on the dragon's back to have a life full of adventures, but that's for another day.
Así, pasa de casas así. Voy a manejar dragones.
Hey, Don, you did it!
Mola. Tenías que ser la princesa. Ya, ha molado bastante. Ah, y ahora tienes que volver a la carpa del circo, ¿no? Imagino que para que vean todo.
Vincenzo came back.
Hey, what do you think, Vincenzo? Did you ever consider trying out for the trapeze?
They're good at what they do, Mr. Fenris. I'll give you that.
I got my balloon back, I got a princess from my puppet theater, and my pirate ship is sailing the bounding main.
So you're a man of your word.
Go ahead, count it. It's all there. Need a hand with your stuff?
My apparatuses are very delicate, and I don't like anyone in my workshop. Provide the audience, Mr. Fenris, and I will provide amazement. Mr. Fenris, why are you organizing this circus? I know who your investors are.
I promised my wife and daughter I'd clean up my act.
But if I don't pull in the crowds for you, those boys are gonna put you in the river.
Without Cat and Didi, I wouldn't care much if they did.
Ah.
So those crowds better come.
I didn't talk to him. I didn't talk to Vincenzo. Hey!
Hacer la vista gorda, vale. Creo que tenemos que cortar aquí y seguir el próximo display. Hasta la próxima.